All right, Shia LaBeouf. Let's get motivated. Help me out. Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true. Just do it. Some people dream success. Well, you're going to wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not going to stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it! What's he grabbing with his hand? Just do it! Yes, you can! Just do it! Good morning, Solo Ranger. If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. Yeah. Thanks, Shia LaBeouf. Ooh, super strong. Morning, everybody. I hope you're all having a wonderful day so far. I am. Finished a workout. Now we're going to drum, and then we're going to game, and then I'm going to make content. Sounds like a good day to me, right? At least for a nerd like myself. We're going to be warming up here, and then after we warm up, I'm going to be refining my Flam actions today. There's a specific exercise for that breaks it down, allows you to work on these, improve them. We're focused on technique today. Yesterday, we were just kind of getting the hands going again after some time off from drumming. And then at the very end of the stream, we're going to just chop out with something. There's over 1,000 free, let me emphasize, free play-alongs on my website. As slow as 20 beats a minute or as fast as 240. There's the chop stuff. There's limb independence charts. There's over 800 grid variations. There's 80 technique exercises. 140 marching bass exercises, and then there's a bunch of drumming tips ones that are scheduled for release and are currently released. I think I have 53 of them scheduled for right now. So stay tuned. Lots of free content. If it says members only, that just means it's early access. It will come out for free, I promise you. Let's warm up with... Let's do an endurance exercise. So, see, like this one, it says members only. These are scheduled for release. I've got stuff scheduled into October, so lots of content. Literally over 100 videos that are currently scheduled. But we're going to warm up with 16th Note Pyramid. It's a classic. Every single one of these play-alongs, you just go into the timestamps in the description, and you can jump to whatever BPM you want. Let's go ahead and warm up with a nice, comfortable 90 beats a minute. Click on the BPM, it will then jump to that point in the video and count you off. Turning down the volume. Whoops. It's like screaming in my ear. Very simple exercise, but it's a great way to work on your taps. Sweet. Now let's go faster. Just trying to get the blood flowing before we refine Flam accents and before we stretch and massage. It's good to just like get things moving before you stretch and massage. Whoa! Should have paid more attention to the tap off. Good morning. How you doing today, Nathan? Talking's messing me up. Jared, focus. I do what I want. Okay, good chat. Why is there a little hole here? What did I do to create a hole in the side of my stick? Why? Who knows? All right, let's do this, I don't know, 1 or 2 more times. Again, just getting the blood flowing. Trying to wake up my brain, too. Apparently, the workout didn't do it for me, but, you know, it is what it is. If this is too fast, you can slow it down. This one goes as slow as 20 beats a minute. Again, timestamps in the description of every one of these play-alongs. You can go to the home tab of my YouTube if you don't want to go to my website. It's fine with me. Try and organize it neatly on YouTube, but it's a little bit harder to do. There's some limitations on what I can organize on YouTube that I don't have on my website, so things are fancier, easier to show all the playlists and whatnot. YouTube actually got rid of some of the organization stuff. You used to be able to like categorize things in your playlist. I was bummed when they removed it. It was like a year ago they got rid of it. Not many content creators are using it though. When I go to their channels, I'd be like, I'm surprised I don't see the categories on their content. So maybe that's why they got rid of it. But I think people just didn't know about it. All right, let's stretch and massage. I need it. My left hand is still tight. I really messed it up with Muay Thai. Whoops. Shouldn't have hit the bag so hard. Pull in, push out. Ooh, yeah. It's such a good stretch. I feel like my right hand needs to pop. Maybe we can give you a little ASMR experience. Pretend like you're at the drumming chiropractor. They just pull up bass drum mallets and adjust your spine by just drumming on your back. Looks like you need an adjustment with a Flam drag today, as opposed to a chut cheese. If you do traditional, rotate and hold here. Ooh, yeah. Awesome. Yeah, glad to hear you're practicing daily. Foo bars and Chicago's, those are fun. Cheese Chicago's are also good. There's under the chop exercises, there's the Chicago book report exercise. That's a good one. It's a fun one. But the grid variations with Chicago's, whoo-wee, that gets difficult. It's a fun challenge, though. But, yeah, moving that accent around, permutating it on it, it's difficult. Good morning, Carter, on Instagram. If you want, you could do one at a time like this. Yesterday, I demonstrated you could stretch, by going lower on the wall. It makes it deeper. Let me show you. You can do it also this way. You just kind of go onto your drum or your pad. Don't put all your weight into it. Don't pop stuff. Yeah, the Chicago Book Report one is under the chop exercise at the top of the page. And then, yeah, obviously the grid ones are underneath the 16th note grid towards the bottom of that set of playlists. There's the regular Chicago, and then there's the Cheese Chicago. The Chicago Book Report has Chicago on the first half, and then Cheese Chicago. In the second half, it has like the Book Report without a diddle, and then Book Report as written normally. Oops, forgot this one. Excuse me. Okay, so now we're going to stretch the top side. Again, you could do this on the wall like I did yesterday. The higher you go, the deeper the stretch. You could do this on your leg like that, or you could just do it like this. You're stretching the top side of the forearm. Just trying to get nice and relaxed. Today's drumming spa with your host, Jared O'Leary. We're going to lower your heart rate and raise your BPMs. Oh, yeah. Now I'm going to stretch thumb to thumb. Getting relaxed. Start with the larger muscle groups and kind of work our way down. Ooh. Middle finger's tight. Too much scrolling. Doot, 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 doot. Not really. Yesterday I was doing aim training. Tried to do about an hour a day. So, you know, I can get a little bit better at that. And I was like noticing that my like wrist was tightening up on my right hand. I was like, I need to slow things down, I think, with my aim. Figure out what's going on with that technique. Work it up slowly with a metronome. Now I'm massaging. I'm doing thumb on top, fingers underneath. I'm only half joking, too. I am going to, like, slow it down and analyze, like, what's going on with my wrists. Like, you don't want that tension in there because you want to be able to move side to side. What years of academy did I march? I'll show you. So, since we're on YouTube, the very first link goes to /drum, which is where you can find the thousands of play-alongs, which, Nathan, so here's the Chicago and then the Chi Chicago ones. And then again, at the very top is the Chicago Book Report one that I was just mentioning. But, Nick, if you're curious, if you go to Vitae or /CV on my website, first of all, here's a picture of me with hair, marching academy. But I keep cycling through photos. 2001 through 5. And then I got into a car accident in 2005. And I barely finished the season. I hit my knee on the dashboard. Some dude ran a red light. He was a jerk. Let me see. Scroll down. Where is it? So you can see the years in here. But I could not march 06 and 07. Those would have been my last 2 years. So I did 5 years. Would have done 7 if I had not gotten in that car accident. So I did that. I did marching band for 2 years for the university because I was required to. But yeah, if you're curious about my experience, background, and whatnot, this long thing shows all my presentations, publications, etc. And then there's also links up here to all that stuff if you want to get extra nerdy. Let's go back here. Good question, though. And I got a tattoo on my arm from it. Boop. Okay. Anyways, massaging. Been practicing for drumline for a few months. Going into my second clinic tomorrow. Nice. Well, right now, it might be a little too late for the stuff that I'd recommend for you. I did just release, since you're on Instagram, today's Instagram drumming tip, and then the one yesterday are like audition tips, like things to prepare. But most of that would take multiple weeks to kind of like prepare for it. But just go in and just be a sponge, just absorb as much information as possible, and know that if you don't make a spot, like, or the instrument that you want, like, that's okay. You'll be fine in the long run. Like, my first 2 years, I was in the pit and was like section leader for pit my second year, before I finally made drumline, and that's okay. So you'll have plenty of opportunities to drum in the future. Yeah, just focus on being present and as prepared as possible, like mentally and physically. So get some sleep. Don't stay up late. Don't drink a bunch of caffeine. That'll make you like jittery and whatnot. And then you'll be like, man, here we're going to play, etc. So just try and have a good time. Which that advice is different than what I would give if you had like 2 months from now to prepare for it. So the Instagram post and the YouTube post and whatnot for today and yesterday will help you with like long-term how to prepare for things. There's also on my YouTube, there's the drumming tips playlist. There's like 53 highlight reels that have just like a bunch of tips that I've given over time from these streams. And so those are releasing every other day. I think there's 15 of them out now. Those also have some audition tips and some just general, here's what you should focus on when you're practicing, how to get better over time, etc. again, you can find that here. So if we go to either the link that's right there, /drum, or if you don't want to go there, that's fine. On Instagram, there's a link to my YouTube. And on the YouTube, under the home tab, we've got all the drumming stuff here, as well as like the gaming and computer science stuff. But if you click on the header, and then it shows you this. But the very first one is the drumming tips one. So all of these are scheduled to release or are currently public. So if it says members only, that's just early access. They're coming out. Don't worry. Nothing's going to be behind a paywall. But there's a bunch of tips on like how to get better over time. So hopefully that helps you out. But yeah, just have fun. Be a sponge. Absorb things. Enjoy the process. Learn a lot from it. And just like figure out what you can refine for the future. Let's see here. Sweet. I appreciate you stopping in, Carter. Let's play faster than we should. So we're now that we stretched and massaged, let's go to 110. Just to push my brain to think a little faster and my hands to play a little faster. But, you know, my left hand's still a little tight from hitting the bag. Okay. Just for funsies, let's try 120. It's not gonna go good. There's the number. I can number sometimes. I promise. Yeah, not today. All right, let's actually refine stuff. Let's work on that grind. So let's go back to... Nope, not there. The link that's at the top of the screen. Easiest way to sort through everything. We're not doing chops. We're not doing drum kit. We're not doing grid. We're going into the technique section. And we're going to work on rudiment zoom. So inside of here, there's one called Flam Accent Builder. Worked on this before. We're just going to continue to refine it. There's also a cheese, flam drag, and flam 5 variations of these that are scheduled for release in the future. So stay tuned for those. Okay, so we're going to go up 5 clicks at a time with this. You could jump to whatever BPM you want. You could go 1 click at a time with this, but we're just going to go 5 just to see how it progresses over time. Ideally, it's going to get better. How did this come off? And there's dog hairs underneath it. Okay. Minnie, were you gaming? Minnie's my dog. The survivor of our dog battle royale. The last of 4. Let's turn up the volume a little bit. Here we go. I totally had no idea what was going on with that tap off since I started like 2/3 of the way through it. Actually, I've got this one. Oh. Okay, so we're adding in a grace note. I'm early. Now we're adding in an accent. Trying to play as relaxed as possible while getting the heights. Now full flam accents, and then it does the opposite where it's taking away a note. So it's going to take away a right hand each one of these phrases. Woo! There's so much space in each one of these. Little Cadets 2000 right there. Okay. Now we're going to go up by 5s for each one of these. You could go up by 1. Yeah, it is great for working on control, for just improving your flam accents. And again, the drag the cheese in the flam 5 is scheduled for release. So those will be like that. Interestingly enough, Academy actually played that drum solo for Cadets 2000 when I was still on the line. We did it in 2003. So I had the snare part for the duet with the bass drummer from that solo. It was fun. Back in the day. Trying to just get the height without like really forcing in these accents. So I'm trying to use the technique when I'm going to be playing this faster. So when we're like 3 times the speed. Give it a little bit of time. A little early on that timing. Mm-hmm. 50? Whoa! Slow down, Jared. No, we're breaking the sound barrier today. Hope my neighbors don't complain. Make sure you don't lift the grace note. Just place it for that first left. A lot of former students would like when they're starting, keep it low. At least for rudimental. Like 95% of the time, that's what you're gonna do. Very rarely did I ever write parts where I wanted people to lift the grace note. At least with rudimental. Concert's a little bit different, depending on the style, the speed, what the ensemble's doing, how many grace notes there are, the volume. So many considerations. Which was fun. That's the thing I liked about the concert snare stuff. It's much more musical, less like black and white, where it's like you play at 2 heights only, and then maybe every once in a while you're gonna crescendo. Woo! Wow, a crescendo? No way. Concert snare, you have all these ebbs and flows with your dynamics and your phrasings, and you can even play with the tempo a little bit, where you keep like the macro tempo in time, but the interior notes are moving slightly to make it so that it feels like it's faster or slower than it actually is. Learned that from one of my professors, who is like a principal for like the Phoenix Symphony, I believe. Maybe it's a different symphony, but it's really cool concepts. Can't really do that when there's like 10 other people who are also supposed to play the same way. Good luck. Although I have seen some drum lines do like rhythmic modulations. I'll show you what that is in a second. I haven't demonstrated that in a while. Oops. Thought it was the last thing. It wasn't. Okay, so rhythmic modulation. It's kind of neat. So what you end up doing is you take like a rudiment or a sticking or whatever, and you slowly morph it into something new. So, for example, if we're doing double strokes, 2 and 2, you take the 2 double strokes and you slowly start to go like this, and it becomes like a Swiss, and then it goes to like the opposite of that, so that you start with the other hand leading. So what this sounds like is you start with something like this. Hold on. Which hand's gonna move? And now I'm left-hand lead. So like slowly morph the double strokes in there. You can also do it with 3s. Turns into Flam taps. Then it morphs back the other way. So 3s goes into Flam taps and then goes back out the other way. Good luck cleaning that up as a line, but it's a really neat concept. Momentum, a drumline from Arizona, did that in the early 2000s. For one of their solos. It's a pretty cool idea. What was that? 55? 55. Let's go 60. Woo! Slow down, Jared. No. I have +7 energy, unable to slow down. I'm a little late on those accents. Whoops. 65. I wish I could just clap and then it would just jump. BPMs. Up 5, please. Alexa. taps are too low. Mm-hmm. 70, on the count. Never really watched that show. Don't know why. Oops. Yeah, that's an excellent observation, Nathan. So, observation for those of you who are on Instagram, or potentially even on the other platforms that we're streaming on. Hi! But, yeah, so if you are playing into the drum, the more parallel you are with the stick, makes it so that you can actually get more sound out of the head itself. So if I start to raise this up, just the physics of it, you're doing a glancing blow rather than going straight into it. So like I was mentioning earlier, I was doing Muay Thai. And so if I'm doing Muay Thai and I'm trying to punch somebody, if I'm doing this, I want to go straight into them. I don't want to do like a weird, like a downward slice like that. I want to go right into the impact with them rather than a glancing blow off to the side. So we want to go straight into them so all of the force of the punch goes into their body. Or the same thing with like a kick or like a knee or something. So if I am hitting somebody like this is going to provide way more damage than if I like hit them at a side and go off at an angle rather than straight into their stomach or their ribs or whatever. Same thing with drumming. So whenever you're drumming, if you are playing so that it's going parallel with this, you're going to get more power coming out of or more sound coming out of, can't speak. You're going to get more sound coming out of the head because you're getting more of the energy transfer into the head as opposed to if you're at an angle, even if I'm getting the same height, it's not going to have the same amount of power behind it. So I can use less energy and less force and get more sound out of it if I am actually playing parallel to the head rather than at some kind of an angle. Also, like the angle of the head itself with this can have an impact as well. So like if you're like when I played concert snare, if I played concert snare with it flat like this, my wrist is already bent if you look at it right here. But if you play at an angle with the drum a little bit lower, then your wrist has more motion because instead of being here, I get this extra wee bit of few inches of motion that I can get out of it. So I can get more power out of it. Even though like the sound is going towards the back of the stage, you get way more power behind it. So that's something you can do with like concert snare if you want to. You don't have to though. You do you. Do your thing. Many ways to play. But yeah, focus on just like letting physics work in your favor. Don't try and go against it. Einstein will be upset. You're very welcome. I'm glad I can provide some sort of assistance. And I'm glad you stopped by and leave comments like that. It's a good observation. You're paying attention. Tells me in the long run, you'll do just fine. Yeah, it's those details, whether it's with drumming or like writing or video editing, whatever. If you are focused on those little things, those little separations from the average to the great, that's where you'll go far. I say as like a scholar and all that. As a video editor, as a drummer. I agree. Most practicing that I've done is in isolation. It's good to have people to bounce questions off of, ideas off of. Whoops. Keep playing the wrong part. This is a very calming exercise for me. I'm just very zen right now, playing some Flam accent work. Yeah. Get myself hyped up. Let's do some jumping jacks. I will say it is nice to actually have people stopping in. I don't have any of the view counts up, but for having spent so many streams where nobody is there, it's nice to have people. So thank you. And I'm just glad that these resources are helpful in some way for people. Just creating the stuff that I wish I had when I was learning how to drum. 9 to 5. Yeah, I agree. You gotta really look long term. Thankfully, I've had many things in life that took years before it paid off, like years of work, like the content creation I did previously for my old job, or my doctorate, or, drumming, or, let's see, computer programming, so many different things. So because of all of those experiences, I'm able to go into here, and again, I don't have the view count up on Twitch or TikTok or Instagram or on YouTube. So I'm just here trying to get better as a drummer, trying to create more content. I try and view it as I am recording content that I'm going to then clip up and turn into highlights and use. I'm not trying to be a live streamer. That's active income. But if you create clips, then you can share that in like highlight reels, like in my home tab on YouTube. And then those can get passive income after you've done the hard part of making the content. So that's what I'm trying to focus on. I just happen to be doing it, publicly. Like the Darkwood that I'll stream here in like 30-40 minutes. If nobody stops by in the live stream, that's okay, because we're going to turn those into a clip, a highlight reel, which I'll then share, and that ideally will make some money down the road. You know, in like 5 years. It'll make like pennies. Woo-wee! Passive pennies, though. Yeah, if you like the grind, you know, like my shirt says, where it says grinding for XP, that will pay off. If you can enjoy the process, then you'll get better over time. And you can turn whatever it is that you're doing into a potential career. Hello, Mikey. On Twitch, it was 106. No, 105. 110. Like on Instagram, like I went a whole year of posting and got like 0 engagement. Like literally 1 like, and it would be from like my wife or something. Gotta be okay with that. Get better. Don't spend a month practicing or posting and assume you're going to be great. It's not going to happen. I've been drumming for 26 years, and I still got stuff to work on. Like that. Mistake. How's it going? It's going good. Just practicing. And then we're going to be gaming here in a little bit. How are you doing on Twitch? Cheese drag. What? Sheet music? A cheese drag? You mean a flam drag or a flam 5? So a cheese is when you do chut, and then a drag is when you like tut da da. So if you combine them, chut da da da, that's a flam 5. Because you're doing 5 strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it's a drag or a cheese, that's what those are. But you can find those playlists linked up there since they're on Instagram. Just go there and you'll find drags, cheese, and 5 grid variations. Lots of them. Play it slow. Which one? Cheese, cha da da da, cha da da da. For flam drag, cha da da da, cha da da da. For flam 5, cha da 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 da, cha da 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 da. But again, yes, I do. So go up there. Here, I'll show you, since you're asking about it. This is where it takes you when you go to this link. All of these are free play-alongs. There's over 1,000 of them. The chop exercises have a bunch of flam drags, cheeses, flam 5s, blah, 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 blah. But what I'd recommend you doing is going to the section that says grid variations, and you can work on cheese variations, flam drag variations, flam 5s variations. You can do this with triplet, or you could do this with 16th note. There's 477 grid variations for 16th note. There's 346 grid variations for triplet. And then there's a bunch of technique stuff. So, gotta keep chopping life. That is where you can find all that stuff. It's just linked right there. Again, these are all free. If it says members only, it just is early access. I've got stuff scheduled into October. So stay tuned for more. Mikey, are you a bot on Twitch? I think you are. You keep asking the same thing. Welcome, bot. 10001001010. Beep bop, beep bop, beep beep bop, beep bop bop. Trying to communicate, bot. Slow. You think the algorithm is a luck of the draw? Sort of. So, like, these videos, like this one, is so long that even if somebody spends... I can't speak while doing this. Even if somebody spends like 10 minutes playing through this particular exercise, it will never hit the the virality that you would see off of like another video, because 10 minutes of this video is such a small percentage of 2 hours and 14 minutes of this content, even if you use it like every single day. So this will never get shared on YouTube and will always have a lower amount than like the gaming stuff, where like that might get shared to millions of people, because if it's like a 5-minute video and somebody watches like 3 minutes of it versus watching 3 minutes of this 2-hour video, like it just will be like, oh, well, I guess people didn't like this video and YouTube will not recommend it to other people, which is one of the reasons why I actually take these streams and use them as recording sessions. So I then share shorts, which then point to this stuff, because those shorts, those excerpts of me talking about how I'm actually trying to improve will actually get shared, which is also why like I have the drumming tips stuff that's like here. Go. So this playlist of tips, because all of these videos are around 8 minutes or so, then this has a higher likelihood of being shared than the videos that are like, some of these play-alongs are like a few hours long. So those will never get shared. Even if somebody spends 30 minutes like playing just the one thing over and over, it won't hit the virality that those other ones will, because it's not just the number of like clicks you get on a video, it's also the percentage of watch time, because YouTube will look at this and go, well, you only watched like a quarter of this and it's 2 hours long, we won't share it. Whereas if you watch like, I don't know, 30% of another video, which is 5% more, they'll share that one. Anyways, what speed was this at? Okay, 120. You're very welcome. Gotta keep chopping. Happy I can help in some way. 120. Go. Oh, come on. There you go. Atta girl. Good job, YouTube. So proud of you. The algorithm side of things is fascinating to me. I spent a lot of time learning about it. But I'm also trying to not cater towards that. Like, I'm not trying to chase an audience. I'm trying to find people who would be interested in stuff that I actually enjoy creating, rather than like, well, this is going viral, let me make my own version of that. Nope. Don't care. Well, does that mean it's going to be a slower growth? Yeah, significantly. But I'll actually enjoy what I'm doing. You're a huge fan of my work. Oh, with the scratch stuff. Oh, cool. Yeah, so this stuff. So on here, because I create computer science, drumming, and gaming content, the Scratch stuff has a bunch of tutorials on here, like how to do stuff in Scratch. And I'm working on more projects. Like those will be coming out in the next month or two, like how to do blah, blah, blah. But I also have a podcast that like talks about how to teach computer science, because the last in-school gig that I had was computer science education. So I taught coding classes to kids, even though like all three of my degrees are in music education. So if anyone's curious about how to teach it, there's over 200 episodes, some fantastic interviews with guests, and some podcasts where I break down scholarship and talk about how is this relevant to computer science education today in the classroom. But yeah, it's fun. Which I know also confuses people because they look at my YouTube, the home tab, and they're like, but wait, you do more than just one thing. Yeah. What was that, 125, I think? 130. But YouTube has specifically said that they're trying to help channels out like that. And then there's the crossover. Some people like drumming and gaming. And they're like, wow, finally a content creator who does both. Some people look at that and they hate it. That's okay. I never get bored, which is nice. I do want to start Darkwood here in a little bit. Let me go up by 10s. 140. Nice, you're working on gadaments? Hold on. Hey, football, how are you doing on YouTube? Yeah, so my drum set teacher, Don Moyle, he has played with Steve Gadd a decent amount. He's got a couple of CDs with him where they were like trading forests. It's so cool to listen to it because they actually isolate out the tracks so you can just hear Dom's part or you can just hear Steve's part. But my drum set teacher, actually teaches Steve Gadd's son, which is like, okay, you know you're good when Steve Gadd like has you teach his child. Yeah, Gadd, I was listening to his album with Chick Corea, Friends, and whew, so good. Very musically tasty. Tomorrow I'll be working on limb independence practicing. But it's something that I am not great at. I spent most of the 26 years doing rudimental stuff and concert, and just a wee bit of drum kit. Relatively speaking, it is a very small percentage of time. But I like it. It's fun. We'll do that tomorrow. Whoopsies. I like this one. It's a good exercise. And the ones that are scheduled to release, the Cheese, Flam Drag, and Flam 5 builders, are the exact same idea. You're just putting in the notes for this. So like this is Flam 5. If you were to break it down to one hand. But again, it adds in a left hand each time. Ooh, voice cracked. Going through puberty. You know, it happens. And then it goes to the left hand leading with it. Anyways, that was what, 170, I think? I wasn't paying attention. 180. And then we'll play something to chop out, and then I'm going to get set up for some dark wood. It's a spoopy game. What is the flam double stroke called? It's called a cheese. So when you do a flam with a diddle, a double stroke on it, it's a cheese. Although I heard one person who is from the Midwest, he said he swore it was called a stutter, but he was the only guy that I met who called it that. But a cheese. You can also do it after the flam, and that's a flam drag. And if you do it on a diddle on the flam, and afterwards is a flam 5 because you're doing 5 strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can work that up with the free play-alongs on my website. Wow, let's just go straight there. Oh, you haven't tried a cheese before? Well, they're fun. So, if you actually go to the link that's at the top of the screen, /drum, there's this PDF here that's common rudiments. So these are common for like rudimental percussion. You can check that out. That can show you some more things, more different rudiments that you can try. Zoom in for you a little bit. Yeah, so like a cheese, flam drag, flam 5. Those are the ones that I was just demonstrating on there. But then there's a bunch of grid variations. If you scroll down, there's over 800 of them that work on cheeses, flam drags, flam 5s, and it just moves the accent around. So let's chop out with this one. Cheese on 1, sure. So this particular exercise, let's go into the timestamp. Starts off at 40, goes 1 click at a time, but we'll go up to, I don't know, 120. And then we're going to chop out with this. This particular play along goes up to 200, so start slow, slowly speed it up. But it moves the accent around while keeping the cheese on 1. Like that. It's a good one. And then in this particular playlist, there's a bunch more. So there's 26 variations of cheese in here. Woo! That you could work on, like cheese on 2, cheese with backwards accents, cheese with 2 accents, like all sorts of silliness that you can do. It's fun. Agreed, it is tricky. But it's a great one to work on slow. It works on coordination quite a bit. And control. Let's see what the breaking point is today. My guess is maybe 150, 160. Stay tuned, folks. We'll find out. Today's episode of Nathan's House is apparently on fire. People who are not on YouTube are probably like, what is Jared talking about? Don't worry about it. I think we'll be able to do 160 today. Yay! Especially now that we have +7 energy. 160. We're trying to find the breaking point to where my hands spontaneously combust and can play no more cheeses. My left hand's getting there. This will probably be the breaking point. Shake it out. Do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. That was great. That's how I normally laugh. Don't make fun of me. That's fast? Yeah, it's fun though. Ouch, are you in pain? Did you stub your toe? Yep, perfect. It was so good, I don't want to embarrass all the other drummers out there by finishing that exercise, so we'll just stop right there. I don't want to show off. We found the breaking point. Okay, you like flams? Well, guess what? If you go here... The Flam variations, whether it's the triplet one or the 16th note one, there's a bunch. There's 58 variations of just flams for the 16th note. Hoo-wee! Like, try doing flam on taps only, or flams on the accents, or flam every single note. Etc. Those are so much fun to play. But you can find all of these, literally over 1,000 of them, for free here. But Pig Skunk, that's a funny name, and I don't mean that in a mocking name. It just makes me giggle. If you scroll down to the tips section, and you click on this very first one, or if you just go to /gear, you can go to the percussion stuff. Here are some books that I recommend. So on drum kit, since you were mentioning like Steve Gadd's books, here's some other books that you might find useful. Like New Breed 1 and 2 are fantastic for limb independence. So is 50 Ways of Syncopation, which is what I'll be working on tomorrow. Which, speaking of, we're going to practice drums tomorrow, drum kit. Excuse me. But I'm done for the day for drumming. Thanks for stopping in, everybody. Again, if you don't want to go to my website, you don't have to. You can just go to YouTube on the home tab. It's not as neatly organized because it's YouTube. But click on the header and it just shows you the drumming stuff. All the playlists neatly organized, or at least attempting to be neatly organized. But I'm going to get ready for some Darkwood, which is right here. Ooh, it's spoopy. So, again, I appreciate you all. If you enjoy this free content, just share it with somebody else. That's all I ask. Anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and goodbye.